Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Lopez. I have some thrift flips for you today. As always, I am very excited to share these with you today. Most of these items, actually, I think all of them are from my previous vintage thrift haul, so make sure to check that out before this video. I'm going to have it linked down below, and of course I already have a playlist of all of my thrift hauls. Now, as always, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video. Like, comment, and share. That really helps my channel to grow. And let's just go ahead and get started on these beautiful French country DIYs. We're going to be starting by removing the cover off of this hardcover book. This is highly requested anytime I do any of my book DIYs, any of my book flips, so I wanted to add it to this video. All we're going to do is we're going to take an X-Acto knife. I'm using this box cutter type X-Acto knife that I've had for a very long time, and we're just going to cut along these folded edges where the pages and the cover are attached. So again, very simple, but highly requested to see how I do it. And we're just going to follow the natural fold of the cover, making sure not to rip into the cover. So all we're doing is we're separating the part that has all of the pages together and what has the cover. So basically it's like a piece of paper that is just attaching them. So that's the only thing we are trying to cut with the X-Acto knife. So cut thoroughly, but not too deep to where you end up just ripping it into 3 pieces instead of 2 of them. I suggest being as gentle as possible because I would prefer to have to do multiple passes than just completely tear this apart. As you can see here, it exposes this brown part. Behind this brown part is actually fabric and how the book is threaded together. So again, just gently pull and cut, tearing apart so that you don't end up just ripping it into a bunch of pieces. Also, I want to keep this blank front and back cover, leaving you 2 separate pieces for any DIY or project you have in mind. For our second flip, we're going to take this box that I bought as is, and we are going to give it a lighter shade because I mentioned it in my haul that it was a little bit too dark with the rest of the wood that I have in my home. It would just clash, but we have to start by taking off all of the tabs that it has in the back. This used to hang, so I'm just going to take my hammer and take them off. The middle one actually does not have a head. It's like just like a little brad nail, so that one I am going to just hammer in just to make it even with the wood. Now, because it still has the little holes, I'm going to take some of these felt pads and just stick them onto the bottom where those 3 nails were, and then adding some to the other side just so that now it won't scratch my surfaces. Now that that is done, I'm going to take some of my Waverly white wax, and I'm going to do my usual method of applying some with my wax brush. This is from Walmart, purchased very inexpensively. I highly recommend. It worked exactly the same as the Waverly brand one. And then I'm going to take off any excess with a clean rag. I am going to apply this a little heavy-handedly because I want to make sure it gets into all of the grooves. This has really nice grain to it, and I want to make sure that it catches all of that and you're able to see that popping through behind the white. Now I'm also going to focus more of the wax on some of the areas that have like indentations, like here on the knob. I want to make sure to get really nice around the base so that I don't leave any parts that don't have any wax. And of course, all of these little nail holes, I want to cover them in white. I love it when you can see a lot of the white in all of those little areas. So I'm just applying more to it. Let it dry a little bit, not a lot, because I don't want it to be this harsh or to show lines of where I let it sit. And then I'm just going to take off the excess, and as you can see, a lot of it stays inside of the little grooves, and that's the exact look I'm going for. I love the way all of the white is sticking in those little corners, and I'm going to do the same all over the box except the bottom and the inside. Here it is now fully done. I went ahead and did all the areas. I had to repeat some of them a couple of times just so that I got the right level of white that I wanted in the specific areas that I wanted it in. And now that it's fully dry, it's ready to style. I love using this technique so much because it lets the color come through in wood pieces. It lets the wood grain come through, and it just lightens them up a bit. If that's all you want to do, this is a perfect technique to try. And again, I like to do this on things that I paint and just want to lighten. For our next flip, we're going to take this broken basket. It's missing one of its handles, but the one that it has, I think, will work perfect as a place to hang it. So we're going to convert this to a hanging basket. I fell in love with this basket. I love the vintage sign that it has in wood. It used to be the front, but we need to take it off because we are assigning it a new front, since now the side where the handle is going to be the back. I'm going to follow the exact same line where it used to be so that it'll still have the same height, since I did like where they had placed it before. And I'm just going to put it back in. I moved the liner so that I could take out the little stretch out the little pins that it has that hold it in, and I'm going to do the same now to put it back in. Now that it is in place, I want to add these rosemary picks that I got at Walmart. I love them. They're so realistic. I think they're perfect for this basket, but I want to make this a more permanent design, so I'm going to be adding all of these picks in, but with this gap filler. Make sure you read all of the instructions carefully before using this product. It even says it again that you need to wear gloves and protective eyewear, so I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray the gap filler inside of here. Now I want it to come up about 3/4 of the way. It does expand, so I'm filling it about halfway full, not all exactly halfway, a little bit below that. I'm going to even it out a little bit, and now you need to let it set and expand. Mine says that if you spray a little water on it, it'll help to set quicker, and I did that. It was at a good point where I could still insert my picks in, and it was still going to expand a little bit more. I thought it was done expanding, but it ended up expanding a little more, so just keep that in mind when you make yours. I didn't want it to fully harden because I didn't want to stick my pins. I wanted it to dry around them. Now I'm going to just kind of stick them in a format where they are straight up. I like that more in these type of arrangements, especially in these herb ones. I've seen real rosemary bushes and they're more straight rather than kind of going all over the place. Now I do want to give full credit to Julie's Designs and Signs. I got the idea from her to use the gap filler, and this is one of those DIYs where I'm like, why did I not think of this? I know that this is what they do in floral arrangements that they have, for example, at furniture stores. All of those arrangements are there to stay. Nobody changes the flowers, so that's what they've always used. So it was kind of a, why did I not think of this? But thank you, Julie, for coming up with this design and sharing it, because I love it. I'm trying to show you here in this close-up that you can't even see the gap filler, but I do recommend using a liner or some type of bag inside of it to make sure that it doesn't ooze out. For our final flip, I'm going to take these patriotic candle holders and turn them into year-round decor. I'm going to remove these wires that were used to make it kind of into a lantern. I'm just going to take my jewelry pliers and rip it off. It's really soft and malleable wire, so it was easy to take off. But the staples, I wasn't able to remove with the tools I had on hand, so I'm just going to use this hammer so that it doesn't have any rough edges to to flatten it down. Now, I was originally going to try and sand all of them and stain them, but I wasn't able to because it's made out of MDF, so I'm going to just paint them in this ivory chalk paint and then just sand the edges off. So again, I'm going to take off all of the pieces from all 3 of my candle holders. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take some tack cloth and clean around them. I did save all of the other wire pieces for different DIYs. So again, I'm just using this tack cloth to remove any dust from where I tried to sand and any dust that was already on them. Now I'm going to take some masking tape and cover this candle holder part because I do not want to paint that. I also mentioned in my video that I was going to try and spray something so that this rust didn't change over time, but it's actually faux patina, so I didn't need to do anything. It's not real rust, it's just the way that they made these candle holders. So again, just take the masking tape, cover all around it, and I'm going to repeat that on all 3 of them, just covering up all of the edges and any pieces that I don't want any paint on. Now that they are all covered, I'm going to paint them, and I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint in ivory. I'm going to cover up all of the sides. I do a total of 3 coats on all of them. I actually, on the white one, I only did 2 coats because it's white. I didn't have a lot to cover anyways. And then the bottom, I'm going to do a very thick coat, just once, since we won't be seeing that, we won't be sanding any of that, so the 1 coat is going to be enough coverage for that. Now I want to take this time to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video. Like, comment, and share. That really helps my channel to grow, and it also lets me know what you want to see more of. Now I love doing these thrift flip videos, so I promise to bring more of these. Here they are fully dry. I went ahead and removed the masking tape. Now I do suggest removing when the last coat is still drying, because I struggled on 2 of them because I didn't do that. And then all I'm going to do now is sand the edges to bring up some of the wood. Now remember, this is MDF, so I can't go really heavy-handed on my sanding, just enough to give it a little bit of a distress. Now this is about as much sanding as I want to do. Again, I just want to bring in some of the wood edge, not too much, and I'm going to do the same to all of the pieces. Here they are completely done. Now I only had 2 candles, so I'm only showing you 2, but I am obsessed with how these turned out. I may try to recreate this with new pieces of wood because I love it so much. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for taking time to watch it. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Don't forget to like this video and comment on it. And you have a very good rest of your day. Bye-bye.